Hi, good morning everyone. I'm Luciana and I'm the Academic Manager at Explore English in Melbourne. And my short presentation is to introduce to you our new student service tool, and that's ERIQ, the AI. There he is. So at the beginning we were looking for a tool to complete the student experience. And we needed a system that would provide satisfaction for the students, improve the communication, as well as give them real, accurate information. So we set up a working party with our super users at Explore English, who are super users on the Intrinsiq database, and we worked with the specialists at Intrinsiq. And what we wanted was to capture relevant academic details, so a history of all the formative and summative assessments of that student. We wanted to capture relevant study information, so for example, the pathway provided they're going to, which university, how many weeks of English they need to get there, and that type of information. And we were able to customize the data for ourselves, and that's where the Intrinsiq team came in. They said they would be able to create our artificial intelligence. Sounds too good to be true. However, there was a lot of planning and testing to be done. So we asked students and teachers what help they needed from our AI. Because ERIQ can text students. So we brainstormed different questions that the students would want to ask ERIQ. And some of the ones that came up were, what's my projected attendance? Who's my teacher? Where is my classroom? And a few students really wanted to know what is the real age of Dr. Susan Delahunty. But even ERIQ was unable to give us that answer. But in all seriousness, it was just about us playing around with what we could and couldn't do with ERIQ. So during the working trials, we did hit some roadblocks. So some of the issues were the student's phone number. They would change their number and not tell us. So, and that's how ERIQ is able to communicate with the students from the student's number. So how we overcame that was when the teachers had their 3 weekly meetings with the students, they would check the phone number at that meeting. Secondly, when students changed classes, so if they were promoted or moved to another teacher in the same level, if our system wasn't updated, ERIQ would provide them with the incorrect information. So what we did with that was we stopped students doing that until it had been formally approved by the system. Thirdly, teachers not updating the system. So, for example, some of our less tech-savvy teachers prefer to complete the attendance on paper and then update that at the end of the week. However, that meant that when the student texts ERIQ asking about their attendance, he gave the wrong information. So again, thanks to Intrinsiq, they provided us with an app that was really easy to use. The teachers can just log on in the class in real time and quickly mark the attendance, and therefore it's accurate from now on. And finally, the last one, which we didn't actually predict, was the student's writing ability. So in the initial trial period, when I was texting ERIQ or the other super users, he understood everything I said perfectly. However, when an elementary level student asked the same question, ERIQ didn't understand. So what we did was we taught ERIQ Spanglish. We taught him Chinglish. He can speak any variety now of English, including symbols. So that was fantastic. And then we launched ERIQ. It was fantastic. The working party finished. The students were happy. The staff were happy. And now that we've finished, we're still working to review ERIQ. We have our monthly meetings with Intrinsiq, and our users provide feedback or ideas for amendments. And we've got many ideas. So here you can see ERIQ on the telephone. At the moment, though, he only texts. He can't talk. But one of our ideas is to develop the experience to make it more personal and have ERIQ answer the phone and not sound like a robot, but sound like a person. And another idea, actually one of mine, is to give ERIQ a friend. I want to introduce a female, better, more intelligent, beautiful Erica who can be a friend for Eric, so he's not lonely. But yeah, with Explore English, we really promote using technology in our school. And we thought Eric would be the final touch, being that technology of tomorrow for our students of today. And with that, I'd like to introduce Mark Milford, who's the brains and brilliance of Eric from Intrinsiq. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Jana, for that. Given that if Eric is not as smart as Erica and I'm the brains, what does that say about me? I'm not quite sure. I'd like to say thank you to NEAS as well for the award and also for this great conference. It's been a great conference as always. You know, before I begin, one of the things that Explore are constantly talking about is they want Eric to become flesh and body. They want him to be wandering around the school and even work the student services desk. But I did warn them that he doesn't understand the 3 laws of robotics, and therefore making him flesh yet would maybe be a little bit dangerous. We'll leave it to his sister maybe. At Intrinsiq, we work with schools like Explore to provide software that doesn't just cover the same basics that schools have been covering the software for 20 years. Compliance, data management, class roles, you know, all of those things software has been able to do and has been doing for a long time. We try and partner with schools to think about using technology in a different way. Whether it's mobile access, instant attendance capture, intuitive class management tools, or bespoke data flows, and in fact, things like ERIQ. And what comes out of a collaborative approach with schools is things like ERIQ the AI. You know, ERIQ uses natural language processing, here's my geeky terms coming out, and machine learning to constantly self-improve. Each time a student asks him a question, he works out what the answer is. And you know, if he's not sure what the question means, he flags it for one of my team, and then we tell him what that student meant. And therefore, he learns the next time a question comes up. So in fact, he's really just like a student. The more he's used, the more he's spoken to in English, the more he learns. So whether it's ancient 90s technology like QR codes, which I believe are revolutionary for this sector, or slightly more recent advances like machine learning, technology can be used to assist schools. And I must say, I don't want to take offence from anyone, we use QR codes for some of our clients as well, and they are useful in some places, and that was a great presentation yesterday on how useful they are. Everyone appreciated that talk, didn't they, at the beginning of our conference from Chris Riddell about talking about the future. And you know, as upon myself, I failed to predict Brexit. I was watching it and I was convinced it would never happen. So another failure for predicting the future. But it's nice to hear, as we go away from talks like that, we're all talking to each other, oh, isn't this a great idea, we should really implement this. But then we go home to our day jobs and we're so busy running our schools that we forget to take action, to actually do something about it. And that's where we try and step in. We help schools to just spend a little bit of time outside of that banana plantation and step into the rainforest. You know, at Intrinsiq, we practice what we preach. We're a fully virtual team. We are spread around in 6 time zones located near our school clients. We use technology every day to run our own business, but also to help improve schools' services. You know, some schools like the team at Explore, they're willing to take action, and you know, it's those schools that will begin to differentiate themselves after the digital revolution. Sorry, the tagline was beyond the digital revolution. I better get the right quote, haven't I? You know, it's interesting, I don't know if you've read the Pie magazine in your bag from the NEAS conference, where Anton Kreis wrote an article about learning in a brave new world. Now, one of those quotes was that in the future we need to put more emphasis on the importance of interpersonal skills. We know for you and your team to have the time to interact with your students, you need technology that works for you, not working for your software. You know, I'd love to speak with any of you about the ideas behind ERIQ and also other ideas that can help your school. And you know, for a second year we're partnering with English Australia in July to do an EdTech Roadshow, a series of free technology talks from ourselves and other suppliers in the industry to help inform your schools about potential options. So do come and chat with me about both what we might be able to do, but also about the roadshow coming to your city soon.